Hi guys, in this YouTube video I will talk about the Hungarian automotive market and what makes it different than Western Europe. First of all, classic cars. Wartburg. It was similar to the Trabant but the more upmarket version, the luxury version. 1-liter engine 353 made from the 1960s until the 1980s. You missed engine oil and gasoline, two-stroke engine the same as big motorbike. The other classic car, Trabant, loved by many people. They made it in very different versions like sedan, station wagon, pickup, Kugelwagen. It is also available in the rally version 800 RS. The standard engine was 600cc. It went about a little bit over 100 km per hour. It's a true classic built from the 60s until 91. Other classic car, Polish, Polski Fiat. They were 120 seats, Maluch, built until 2001, a small engine in the rear. It was the successor of the very famous Fiat 500, the classic car. This was made in Poland and very popular. Another better car was the Fiat 125. It was based on the Fiat 1300, 1500 mechanic, but the same stereo as the European Italian made Fiat 125. If you liked Fiat 124, get another Giguli. Station wagon, sedan. Also the Lada Samara, a newer car made in the 80s, because in the 80s various manufacturers from Eastern Europe did some innovations. Also the Ukrainian EZH. The Zaz, the newest one that isn't available here. Tavria. This was the newest Zaz I was talking about, the competitor to Lada Samara. Let's go back, and this company also made classic cars in the 60s, the most famous Zaporizhzhia 968, similar style to Chevrolet Corvair American car, with a small engine in the rear. This company also made the 965, similar to Italian Fiat 600. Zastava Yugo. It was born from a rejected project of the successor of the Fiat 127. They were made in Yugoslavia, but for sale also in other nations in Central Europe. Zastava 750, the ultimate evolution of the Fiat 600 with powertrain from Fiat 750, Fiat 850. The best if you like Fiat 600 but with more power without spending a lot of money for official Abarth version. And this, the 1300, was essentially a copy of the Fiat 1300, 1500, same component as FSO Polski Fiat 125, but different exterior, the same as original model, not upgraded to Fiat 125 design. Dacia 1300. It was based on Renault 12 design. This one, for example, is from the 80s with all plastic in the front. The technology was 1960s, and there were little improvements. It was also available in a pickup version and coupe version. Skoda, they have it, yes. Skoda favorite, the third new design car from the 80s together with Lada Samara and Zaz Tavria. This one was made in Czechia. It was the blueprint for the newest Skoda Felicia, the first model Skoda made after they have been bought by Volkswagen. Other more classic cars from the USSR, Gaz and Moskvich. Gaz, they obviously made off-road vehicles for the military. Gaz Gazelle, it was made as a taxi and a truck. Marshutka, communal taxi. Gaz also made other cars inspired by America 1960s, like the very famous Gaz Volga, but they are not for sale here. Another good car was the other car from Russia, the Moskvich. This one from the 80s, the latest one, 403 from the 1960s. Here also, as I said, design inspired by American cars, 1950s inspired, while the 80s version, it was upgraded to newer design, but I bet same engine under, like Lada. Lada Riva was the same as Lada Zhiguli, but the Riva had a different design, but the same style. This one Moskvich, very wonderful 1950s design. The number one, well, not this one, but usually Tata T603, the number one car from Eastern Europe, V8 engine in the rear, air-cooled. Of course, this one is in rough shape, but better ones will be more expensive. For selling Hungary officially. Then we talk about off-road vehicles. Vaz, another off-road together with Gaz. This bus to go off-road 452. And the classic 469. Off-road 4x4 vehicle started production in the 50s up to nowadays, I think, in some markets. The Soviet version of the Soviet competitor of the Land Cruiser. Now let's talk about modern cars. Central Europe, like Hungary, is a place where most buyers like sedan cars. Let's start from the beginning of the fall of communism. Dacia Logan, it also Dacia Solenza, they were for sale, I think. Dacia Logan, the new project after Dacia was bought by Renault as a Dacia global car, also for sale Renault brand in Ukraine and Russia, but in Hungary, like Romania and Western Europe, it was Dacia brand. Then the new Logan, New Logan, this year 2012, the same as Dacia Sandero but with a 3-size sedan body style. A car very similar to Dacia Logan is Renault symbol. In Hungary it was called Renault Thalia. The same as the Renault Clio Mark II, a bit different design in the rear but very special trunk. I made some videos about it. They also made the second generation that they say it is better in everything than the first generation, if I find it. It uses the same engines, the forever winning 1.5 turbo diesel, 1.6 16 valve, it was the fastest engine, also 16 valve and option with automatic, this one, and 1.4 engine, 75 horsepower, the same as Dacia Sandero and Sandero Stepway. They improved the security of the car and also the design. I think it is better. Competitor of Dacia was Daewoo Lanos, Daewoo Leganza. Daewoo Lanos was the basic, made in Western Europe until 2003-2005, but made in Ukraine by Zaz, yes, the same company as before, that later made Daewoo vehicles until 2010s. If you like Daewoo but more expensive upmarket, there were Daewoo Leganza that isn't available here, also Daewoo Nubiva, pretty average car but surely more luxury than Daewoo Lanos. You see this wonderful wood, automatic transmission as optional. Another popular car was Ford Focus sedan. This one was also for sale in Spain, the only nation in Western Europe, maybe together with Germany. Well, this was for sale. Also the second generation Ford Focus, pretty good, especially if you swap the engine with a Ford Focus RS 2.5 and everything. Every Ford Focus had the sedan version for sale in Hungary. The newest aspirated engine, gasoline. They also, yes, this the number one newest car made in new 2026 is new. This one also available with 1 liter EcoBoost engine, small engine with good fuel economy, especially if you move it to LPG, American style automatic transmission. Other good cars for sale, for example, Opel Astra sedan. Opel Astra sedan 2012. For gasoline engine, it is good with automatic transmission, because they say the manual had some troubles. But if you are the type of person that doesn't do a lot of driving in the city, you drive a lot, then the diesel version is the best, 1.6 CDTI. But the number one will be, if this the number one 1.7 CDTI diesel engine, diesel made by Isuzu, so Isuzu is the company that makes trucks and pickup Isuzu D-Max, and they know how to build reliable diesel. This is why I say that this version of the Opel is the number one, if you like, Opel Astra. Then look at something else. Citroën C-Elise. It was the French competitor to Renault Symbol. Aspirated engine, also turbo pure tech, popular especially in Poland. If you like French cars but for one reason you don't like Renault, then buy a Citroën. This guy also had a twin called Peugeot 301. It is also available here. Different design, but everything is the same as Citroën. It is talking the same as Dacia Logan versus Renault Logan. Everything is the same, just different design. Also, Fiat had one car in this range, a new one and an old one. Old one was Fiat Albea, made as a competitor to Dacia Logan, but then they lost because Dacia Logan was cheaper, and yes, it was cheaper but higher quality than Fiat Albea, while Fiat Albea sold pretty well in Turkey. Fiat also made a successor called Fiat Linea. Was based on Fiat Punto Grande Punto. The best is that yes, you buy 1.4 aspirated, but it is compatible with 1.4 turbojet turbo gasoline engine from Fiat 500 to turn this random thing into a pretty competitor, a pretty sport car. Another interesting sedan. Hyundai Elantra, Hyundai Accent. Random car made by Hyundai, cheap to maintain, cheap to run, but you have another option from Hyundai, a way better option, Hyundai Elantra. Yeah, pretty new, like 2012. This was, some people say, also competitor to Toyota Corolla. Not the same quality as Toyota, but in the latest year, Hyundai generally improved the quality of the cars. From the previous accent that yes, it worked well, until the newer ones that they are a pretty good choice. 2017. Hyundai Sonata, bigger than the Hyundai Elantra. It was meant to be a competitor of the BMW 3 Series. The design is good, diesel engine is cheap. I bet it uses some shared component with bigger Hyundai cars. For example, the Hyundai SUV, the Santa Fe, the IS35, Hyundai Tucson. Then let's see if they have Honda Civic sedan. In Western Europe, it was for sale the sedan version only together with the hybrid powertrain. Honda from the 90s are the number one everywhere in the world. This one is the same as American version but different aesthetic. They will never break down. This is why many people love them. Another Civic from 99. Also this one, the same as North American version. Top of the top, number 1. This one, the one that was also for sale in Western Europe, a good hybrid powertrain, very similar to those one used in Honda Insight, Honda CR-Z. This one a classic from the 80s. Another hybrid. Civic from 95, very good for tuning. I saw a video of some American that put electric engine inside this. It's crazy, but if you like electric cars, instead of buying what is available, better to convert a classic to electric. In this way you keep the wonderful design. This one is the successor of the Honda Hybrid. We are tailored similar to Mercedes C-Class, but reliability 100 times better. Another king of the market for reliability, Toyota Corolla sedan. Let's look at the newer one, gasoline. Toyota E160 sedan, used as a taxi everywhere in the world. It is cheaper than the newest Corolla because this one is only gasoline, it is a hybrid. This one even cheaper because it is the previous version. If you also love Toyota but love luxury, get a Toyota Camry. The newest version also has heated seats in the rear from the year new. SV80, but it has the same engine as the SV70 previous version. Dark rear window. 2.5 hybrid, the same as entry-level Lexus. Air AC for the rear passengers. If you pull down this, you should have the special thing for the rear passenger, the control for the rear heated seats.